article by Occam's Razor, and it's called Understanding the Coronavirus Hoax. In this, he gives you the patent. Right? If you go to the website, I tried to post it on my Facebook, they just took it off. They won't allow that information. They call it spam. Right? I'm like, I just put it up there, you just blocked it, you haven't read it, so you can call it spam. But Occam's Razor is one of those people who's persona non grata. He's not going along with it. He's going to do his research and put it out there. So for everybody else, he's spreading the gospel. So he's got the patent number. So I did. I had a, I know you didn't. I know you didn't. It's psychological, Most people, it's been psychological for a long time. They say, don't trust me, look it up yourself, and you're lazy. It's psychological, reverse psychology. You don't look it up, and you take the man's word for it. Well, I didn't. I actually clicked on it. And I had a good look at it today, and I was going to print it off, but I thought, unless you understand the Latinized terms, and they could fumble you up in reading some of these Latinized terms and the family of the coronavirus and so forth, it really, it's gonna be over most people's heads. The point is, it's patented, and it's belongs to a family quite close to Corona, Novaris 2 and SARS. It's a family of these things they've been fooling around with. So we're being locked down, and I'm saying, well, is it a disease? A virus, plague, right? It's a virus. It's a virus. Okay? And we've had viruses, and we survive viruses. We live among viruses. We live among bacteria. We have bacteria on us. We have bacteria in us. Okay, so we're not talking about bacteria because we're talking about a virus. But I'm getting annoyed with the hyping that's going on the media. You can't trust them. Because they put out data, and some of it's going on the WhatsApp. And it will give the area of authority coming from the NHS or something like that. And I think one of the things was talking about how long coronavirus lasts on surfaces. And it's got hours and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, here we go again. I'm doing one thing, and I've got to put that down because somebody sent me this. They want it to be circulated. They're nervous. And I'm like, damn it. Okay, put that down. Let me go and get the information on the cold, the pneumonia, and the flu. They're viruses. And the joke of it is, you're not going to believe me now, because you'll say, you think you're great, don't you? You think you're great. When they put out if you're in England and you've got the WhatsApp about how much the coronavirus lasts on surfaces, I can't remember the exact number of what's the name, but I'm going to go through some of these papers where it tells you what they're saying, right? But we'll start with what's the name was. It was something like 6 to 8 hours, maybe 12 hours. It lasts on certain surfaces. And that scares people. But it doesn't scare me, because immediately I know this is bullshit. Not that it can last that long. I just know that, well, let me go and have a look at the flu. So I looked at the flu. So I'm talking to the person who sent me the one. I said, all right, they sent you this, right? Yeah. And they've said this, right? Yeah. I said, how long do you think the flu lasts on surfaces? I don't know. 24 hours. So Corona 12, the flu 24. I said, worse off, let's check a version of the flu called avian flu. How long do you think that lasts on surfaces? I don't know. I said 6 days. Do you see, if they hide all the other information and they just bring you this information, you're scared. I had to say, look, mate, how do you think we catch a cold and we catch the flu? One, we're not running around in the naked ice or cold or winter day or fall, autumn day, naked. We're not doing that, okay? We're going on the tube in the morning to work. The tube is hand-packed. Somebody's got it. Somebody's breathing it. somebody's in their hand and they put it back on the what's the name. You've just come on, you're holding on because you're crammed up to somebody else who's crammed up to you. You know what I mean? You're going to be amongst people. I was watching Judge Judy, and there's this black guy on there, like he's my bad boy, but he's a poor bad boy. He head in a comb, in a look dressed right, and he's just a bad boy, ignorant. Judge Judy talking to him. You know what that man did in front of everybody? He took his nose and wiped it right across his. You're going to be, people like that is going to be right next to you, right? People who are going to go like that is right next to you, touching stuff. Some people make me sick when I used to work in the offices, you know what I mean? What are you coming in for? You know what I mean? But they tried to make me feel guilty when I said I'm not coming in because I'm sick. But you're in and it's on the phone. Oh, blah, 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 blah. What's the name's on the phone? You pick it up. They're not wiping down nothing. And the reason why they don't tell you to wipe down and keep your hands clean because Big Pharma, innit? They want you to be sick because they get to sell their products because they're going to go to the doctor. And the doctor's going to say, take some of these for the whole week. Right? Big Pharma. Big Pharma, Big Pharma, Big Pharma. So they allow you to infect yourselves because where they're going to get the profit from. It's a bit like you don't really, in the society that we live in, it's mammonized, right? You don't really want to cure crime. Because if you cure crime, then you don't have need for police, you don't have need for prison officers, you don't have need for probation officers, do you know what I mean? You have to look at this thing because everything nowadays is costed, it's mammonized. And you can say that, I'm going to give you, I could give you a real easy one, but you guys don't get it. You just don't get it. You think if I tell you what happened in Europe in the Enlightenment era, I'm a white man lover, I am a sellout, or I'm putting whites above, you colorize it. You just don't understand. It's got nothing to do with color. I've got to stick to the point I'm trying to make here, right? I'm not going to drift and get emotionally torn up. There will be a show, right? So, I can't remember what I was saying. My point is this. If it's a plague, say it's a plague. If it's not a plague and it's a virus, and it is a virus, then let's just deal with that. And so, we spread these germs and colds, usually in the inclement weathers. I did take the still here actually, why we catch colds and flus in the winter. You can ask, all of these things I'm saying are headlines. You can ask these questions to your favourite search engine and it will give you those answers. And you can cross-examine those answers with other articles. And if you're scientifically minded, you can tap into a journal. Some of these journals are free. You don't have to pay for them all. Okay, if you know how to read a scientific journal, they're free. So this article here is, I don't know if I'm even going to bloody read it. I'm not really in that mood at the moment. How long the coronavirus will last on surfaces and how to disinfect those surfaces. It's got some interesting stuff in the on this, but I'm going to go somewhere with it in a minute. So how long the coronavirus will last on surfaces. You could tap that in, right? And how to disinfect those surfaces. How to disinfect those surfaces? Come on. Whenever I go shopping, I'm always buying bleach anyway. You know? Let's see. I haven't actually... I haven't even done any highlights on this. I just printed these off today, not long ago. And I said I was going to read through quite this wasn't one, right? But for a better... Listen. When this is over, and it will be over, because I'm telling you now, this video is called COVID-19 Exposed. We are going to find out, and people better be angry about how they've been hoodwinked, robbed, and pushed around. Something's going down, and you haven't got a clue. And this one's, how long does the flu virus live on surfaces? It looks like that. I think you can... how long does the flu last on surfaces? Let me have a quick look here. Because I said avian flu can last on the surface up to 6 days. Let's have a quick look, see what we got here. It talks about effective hand washing. Something from the Mayo Clinic. Transmission. This was interesting, I thought. Flu season looms every year from October to May. Full stop. 5 to 20% of the US population gets the flu. That's about 60 million, isn't it? About 36,000 people, mostly over 65, die, and 148,000 are hospitalized. Just for that alone, you needed to hear it. That's in America every year, roughly. 36,000 people die. That's a rather large army. Yeah, that's a rather large army. That 36,000 is larger than the army General Lee had left at the signing of Appomattox. Granted, Joseph Johnson was still in the field, and if you added Joseph Johnston's army and Stan Watty, the last general to surrender, the Indian, the Native American Confederate general, you would definitely have more than 36,000. Yeah, possibly a good size, but not enough to really... You could have prolonged the war. It could have prolonged it, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm just showing off because I know a little bit. But pardon me, it's just the way it's life. I'm not perfect, okay? These things happen. Oh, here. Coronavirus latest. How long does coronavirus live on the surface? Now this... What? I thought I printed this one up again. But there's a bad copy. Sugar me, You can't do that. Well, the top copy is a very bad copy. It's not printed everything out. Oh, it really annoys me, this. Bear with me, my people. Bear with me. I said it was called COVID-19 Exposed. Right? Listen to this. This one asks the question, how long can coronavirus live on the surfaces? Now, remember, I told you about some WhatsApp coming from an authoritative place, the NHS, doing a circulation on people's mobile phones. It asks, how long can the coronavirus live on surfaces? A report from Harvard University explored how long the virus can live on surfaces, and it seems the answer isn't clear just yet. It's very new, and I don't know that they've put out, they've run much tests on it. Very new. Apart from those who've got the virus killer waiting to, the vaccine ready, waiting. The report read, quote, so far, available evidence suggests it can be transmitted less easily from soft surfaces and than frequently touched hard surfaces, such as doorknobs or an elevator button. Quote, according to the WHO, World Health Organization, coronaviruses may survive on surfaces for just a few hours or several days. Although many factors will influence this, including surface material and weather. Quote, that's why personal preventative steps like frequently washing hands with soap and water or alcohol-based hand sanitizer and wiping down often touched surfaces with disinfectant or household cleaning spray are a good idea. So while some may take this to mean the virus can't live on fabric, that may not be the case. It's very vague, right? But I'll tell you what. Did you hear that wiping down surfaces? Do you think half of these girls are interested in keeping their yard clean and wiping down surfaces like back in the day? You think that if you tell her you got a girlfriend and you expect that, all of a sudden she thinks you think you're her dad and who do I think I am and all that business? Do you understand why it takes a man a long time before he says, I'll marry you. Because of your fucking mouth, right? And because you've got fucking too many stupid friends chatting to on a fucking phone, and you want to look like this, look like that, and you don't focus on the job, right? You got something to do. Do it and shut up. When the man see it and he's like, you know what? She a good girl, you know, because she don't make no noise. She just get on with it, and to do that, she's always there. You know, she back me up and all that. It's not hard. It ain't hard. But for you, it is. So, I just thought I'd just say that. So point 4 of this was you cannot trust the media. You cannot trust the mainstream media. I really don't know why people do. But I think we also have to say we cannot trust some of the talking heads we have offline either. Okay? You cannot trust some of the talking heads we have online either. And there's been some COINTEL buried deep within the African American community. I don't even want to say it right now because I might just expose them when I do the white supremacy argument. I think you would get it then, right? At that point you would get it because you may be asking them questions and and you know, you heard it here first, right? It's not that hard. And I'm thinking to myself, but boy, if I could figure that out. The social engineers who actually taught these guys to push this, that means we're years behind. We're behind the 8 ball. Because if I say Marcus Garvey, well, I believe Marcus Garvey was a race-baiting hustler who had no intention but to self-aggrandize himself, and he took that road. There's people in this country that want to beat the crap out of me, even kill me. They're not going to stop and say, well, hang on a minute, I've learned all about Garvey and the good side. Let me be objective about the other side. Why would not even why would somebody say that? There's many reasons why somebody would say, oh, yeah, well, but is there any evidence to support it? They're still into this stone and kill the messenger. And that is centuries old. That's how they've corralled the quote-unquote conscious pro-black mind. Oh, if you don't know, you don't know. And you don't know, you don't know. So you don't know. I can't help you on that. I really can't. But I can suggest to you to subscribe, click all the time, and click the bell. You'll be surprised what you will learn. Okay? It's my job. So, you can't trust the media. Now, for those of you in England who know Nick Ferrari, remember when the powers that be, the Rothschilds, were pushing for this war, right? Because Israel wants the war. They want blood sacrifice. And if you know anything about Grenfell, you know that's blood sacrifice as well. So, you know, if you're upset about that, click subscribe all the time, click the bell. What was I going to say? Yes, in the lead up to the Iraq War, you couldn't get on the radio. I couldn't get on mainstream radio. I used to fight a battle, and I used to do a show on an international forum. Just my own show. Pretty much unstructured, but I knew what I was doing. And they don't do it anymore. And so I'd forgotten all about it. But it was strictly open for international. Didn't matter. I took calls from Philippines, India, whatever it was. And they were surprised. I mean, it was the first time I knew that I can talk to people around the world, explain to them certain things, and they'd be living in their villages, happy to be talking to me. You know what I mean? And you could see actually into their house. You know what I mean? Because they got the camera on. And you can break down barriers. And this is what they don't want. They don't want the interaction. They want you, they're over there, they hate me, I hate them, and they stand alongside and say, did you hear what you said? Just like in Playground. You going to take that? You said that about your mum. You going to take that? And before you know it, the two guys, big guys, got the two little guys rolling around, punching one another, crying and all that business because they wanted to see the sport and profit from it. You know what I mean? Well, 50 pence came out of his pocket in the middle of it, and his bar of chocolate fell out, and they've gone. Whatever it is, right? But they don't want people to actually reason, and reasoning is something that happened really well during the Enlightenment period. And what kicked that Enlightenment period off was the Reformation. You've got to get your head around that. You've got to know what's going on. And if you don't like it, I can't help you, right? And for those who think, oh, I'm gonna first. You know what I mean? I got nothing to say to you. You're just stupid. You're gonna get education here anyway. Because a lot of you guys, everything came out of Africa. I'm like, really? So how do you know that? Where'd you get that from? They don't know. They just come with it. It comes out of their arse. I'll tell you where it comes from, pal. Charles Darwin invented it. Oh yeah. Charles Darwin. Okay? You think I'm joking with you? You think I'm joking with you? I don't care what organisation you got, what millions you got, what mansion you got, what book you wrote. You're going to learn. I'm not ramping with you. You're taking people's hearts and minds. Now you're going to think anew. You're going to think right. You're going to use some of the Creator's discernment. All right? It's free. I tell you, I told you. And I'm not taking it, people, oh, we discussed that. No, you never. No one's ever said Charles Darwin apart from me. Right? And if you know, then within a week, tell me chapter, verse, and page, friend. Show me. Read one of them tomes in a week. Try reading one of them tomes in a week. It can be done, I suppose. It can be done. I'm not going to say it can't be done. I shouldn't have told you that. I'll wait for when I'm slapping down those idiots on my powerful video, right? Which will end any argument about your stupid idiocy. So anyway, you can't trust the mainstream media. Yes, Nick Ferrari. He was playing the music like Battle of Britain, The Great Escape. He was really jingoing it up. But I used to phone into these shows and challenge them, and I used to beat them down and all the rest of it. And I'd do things like talking about, I don't believe in the Holocaust. And they couldn't stand it. I got James O'Brien once, and he's like, oh, I suppose I deserve that, didn't I? I'm like, yeah, you bitch. Because when you phone into the mainstream media, you don't get into the show. What happens, you phone into the mainstream media, and they got somebody, a blocker, goalkeeper, they say, what do you want to say, what do you want to say, what do you want to say? So you tell them what you want to say, and if it's a light-hearted subject, they'll let you on, especially if they're building a new audience. They want everybody to phone in. But once you become, I wouldn't say an annoying regular, but it depends on what the topic is, they start to clock your intellect and that you're not easily fooled. You haven't taken the serum, you know what I mean? You're not wearing those stupid glasses. Right? No, whatever. They live. You should be wearing glasses. But anyway. Then they know me. I can't be bothered to change my mobile phone. So whenever I ring in now, they know it's you. They're like, oh, we're not letting you on. So they don't let me on. But at the time, it got to the point where they wouldn't listen to anybody else who doing the research. I'd listen to people like John Pilger. I'd read Counterpunch online. There's loads of people I'd listen to. I'd listen to a bit of Alex Jones. I'm not going to be ashamed to say that I used to listen to a bit of Alex Jones. He puts out some good information. He's a bit bombastic. He's a pantomime character, if you will, and sometimes he's right disinfo if you want to. But I'm not going to turn around and say, well, listening to him didn't get me into this business in the first place. And I think the mistake was made by the powers that be, the Rothschild banking dynasty, criminal Jewish cabal. They get high on their own supply, and they did 9/11. It was such a bad, it was audacious but a bad job, and all the clues are there, and they did it, right? That was their first mistake. And after that, it was just left a series of breadcrumbs for anybody to follow. So, Ken O'Keefe, big up soldier, Ken O'Keefe, I can't remember the Aussie guy's name. There's been lots of guys out there who've been speaking truth to power and stuff like that. Alison Weir, got your book. Cynthia McKinney, big up, got two of your books. There's been loads of truth tellers out there that have said what they've had to say. So this COVID-19 it's to be expected. What I wasn't quite sure of, yeah, so let me just round up. The media lie about moon landing. You never get a debate. You know, they could have it prime time. This is the team that believes in moon landing. These are the team who doesn't. They won't do it. They just say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist or you're anti-Semitic. We're not going to entertain that. They just won't do it. But a logical person will say, well, hang on a minute, we understand how to debate and we can make our own mind up, so let's hear what they've got to say. You got the big TV. I mean, they're going to make a fool of themselves, and let's come on, let's put them on the bonfire. But at least let's get the reason to put them on the bonfire, because you made that stupid argument about man-made global warming, for argument's sake, right? No, I won't do it. So, it just so happens I stumbled across something. And I had to sit down and start thinking it through. Because we may have found who it was, who did what at the scene of the crime. And a crime has been committed. So which one shall I do first? Let's go by date. This article, excuse me, and not been feeling very well, but it's not COVID-19. Harvard professor among 3 charged with lying about Chinese government ties. Right, this is CNN. It's dated the 28th of January. 28th of January. Okay? Now, let's going to talk about this professor who last year, right? Watch. Harvard University professor and 2 other Chinese nationals were federally indicted in 3 separate cases for allegedly lying to the US about their involvement with China's government. The US Attorney for the District of Massachusetts announced Tuesday. Federal authorities told reporters the cases highlighted the ongoing threat, quote-unquote, posed by China using, quote, non-traditional collectors, unquote, like academics, researchers, to steal American research and technology. This is the story, right? Dr. Charles Lieber, he's a Jewish guy, 60, who is the chair of Harvard's Chemistry and Chemical Biological Department. Charles Lieber, who is Jewish, 60, who is the chair of Harvard's Chemistry and Chemical Biological Department, is accused of lying and working with several Chinese organizations where he collected hundreds of thousands of dollars from Chinese entities, U.S. Attorney Andrew Lelling said at news conference. And there's more. According to court documents, Lieber's research group at Harvard had received over $15 million in funding from the National Institute of Health, that's the NIH, and the Department of Defense. Defense? You're head of chemical and biological, and we've got defense giving money as well? Think it through. Which requires disclosing foreign financial conflicts of interest. The complaint alleges that Lieber had lied about his affiliation with the Wuhan University of Technology, WUT, in China, and a contract he had with a Chinese talent recruitment plan to attract high-level scientists to the country. Did you hear me right? Yes, the complaint alleges that Lieber, the Jewish guy who's 60, had lied about his affiliation with the Wuhan University of Technology. Okay. In China, and a contract he had with a Chinese talent recruitment plan to attract high-level scientists to the country. He was being paid $50,000 per month by the Chinese university and given $1.5 million to establish a nanoscience research lab at Wuhan University Technology. The complaint said, CNN has reached out to an attorney for Levi. In a statement, Harvard called the charges extremely serious, quote unquote. Harvard is cooperating with federal authorities, including the National Institute of Health, that's the NIH, and is conducting its own review of the